Golf is thought strictly a gentleman's game, and the stereotype is a lazy, old people retirement game. But as everyone is settling into the new golf season, Netflix is hitting the TV and golf world with a documentary series just like Formula One's Drive to Survive. Through Netflix, the motorsport experienced a lifetime explosion, finding access to a broader audience. And even more, since Drive to Survive debuted in 2019, F1 has garnered up to over 50% viewership worldwide, and new sponsorship dollars are steadily flowing in. Just imagine this much media success for golf. Full Swing promised an access-all-areas dive into the lives of 13 golfers on the PGA Tour during the 2022 season, and it has delivered some good nuggets moving forward. And we can all agree that this season was arguably the most dramatic and controversial year in golf's recent history. So, in this video, we'll take you through everything you need to know about the Netflix series Full Swing, including lessons or insights that each episode presents to us about the game that we can learn and incorporate into our own game from practice, home life balance, and major championships. With places like Ian Poulter's bedroom closet, Jordan Spieth's private jet, and even Brooks Koepka's trail of thought, let's delve right in. Number 1, it's all about the environment you're in to play good golf. Our first episode delves deeper and starts with the relationship of Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth. Spieth got off to a great start that season, recording a second-place finish in February 2022 at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Then won the RBC Heritage in April before finishing second again the following week at the Byron Nelson. And you can see how ramped up Justin Thomas was, as he wanted to be winning whilst his best friend was. Jordan Spieth was always slightly older than Justin, and he turned pro before JT did when Spieth burst onto the scene. Having practiced so much together as juniors all the way into college, JT was watching Jordan's success with admiration, but from a huge jealousy standpoint. All the talk in their amateur days was about Spieth, not JT, who was called Jordan's friend growing up. You see how nowadays they still travel by jet together, and how they still play lots of practice rounds together, playing for big money. By both of them surrounding themselves in a competitive, pushing environment, they pushed each other all the way to success. JT now has 2 majors after winning his second USPGA championship in 2022, and he will want to try and reach Spieth's 4 majors. If you want to better your golf, make sure you surround yourself with better players and friends who are going to keep pushing you forward with your games. Number 2, confidence and self-esteem depend on results. The second episode in Full Swing was ultimately mourning the decline of Brooks Koepka, a golfer who was respected by some and hated by loads due to his cockiness in his glory days. And he always backed it up. Brooksy went as far as saying in an interview before that majors are easier to win than normal PGA events, and that you only need to compete with 50% of the field in a major. He backed this up in 2017, 2018, and 2019, where he won back-to-back US Opens and USPGA championships to take home 4 majors. Known for his unbreakable confidence since being plagued by injuries, not seeing results, and briefly breaking up with swing coach Claude Harmon III, Brooks is a shadow of the man he once was. The show alludes to how Brooks is constantly thinking about his golf, how it is robbing him of his day-to-day home life with wife Jenna Sims, and he announces that he cannot compete with the guys on the tour anymore. The fact that he, of all people, has lost confidence proves that you can be as arrogant as you want, but if you're not seeing yourself doing it, doubt creeps in. When someone tells you to be confident and that you are naturally negative, it's not true. If you can see results, you will become more of an optimist. Number 3, manage your expectations and embrace your brand of golf. Joel Dahmen delivers a huge insight into himself as an individual. His funniest quote being, "Someone's got to be the world's 70th best player in the world." Although he is an extremely talented golfer, he also holds some realism to his game and how the game of golf is damn hard. In the 2022 US Open, Joel very much put himself up there in contention and earned the biggest respect from his fellow playing peers who previously saw him as the laid-back journeyman he once was. However, being known for this and being so relaxed about his game expectations, there are things to be learnt that can help anyone's game. Despite missing the cut a number of times, Joel didn't get caught up by it, didn't lose sleep, and would progress to the next tournament and play much better. Just because you had a bad game of golf or consecutive poor results one week, it doesn't mean it can't turn around. Have that open-mindedness and carefree attitude, and golf will never get the better of you or enable you to get in your own way. Number 4. Golf is a serious game of persistence, but smart practice. Matt Fitzpatrick, in his episode, takes us into his old boxes of course planners from his previous days playing all the way back when he was an amateur. He has recorded every single golf shot he has ever made since the age of 16. The fact he has that much analysis on his game will have 100% showed him what his strengths and weaknesses were. Many of us guess what we need to improve on as opposed to using strong analytics for our game, so it's very important that we have some context behind what we practice. These facts and figures will have come down to Matt using his famous left hand below right chipping technique around the greens, as well as packing on that extra distance to his game over the years to help contend with the big dogs such as Dustin Johnson, in which he did when he paired with him, even outdriving him on one occasion. Keep your stats and see your scores come down. Number 5. Find your own golfing identity in what works for you. Episode 6 on The Full Swing delves into two polar opposite approaches to the game of golf and how to take it into your stride. Collin Morikawa and Tony Finau could not have been more different. In Collin's day-to-day regime, we see him very much obsessed with his golf. He will look at every single minor detail that will give him an inch over his competitors, and to be fair, it's worked for him. Having won the US PGA Championship in 2020 and the Open Championship in 2021, his extra inches have certainly added up to reap rewards in his game. How he practices, the way he travels and what he eats, and even sitting down in meetings with the Adidas team to work on the perfect materials for his golf swing, Morikawa has immersed himself in his game, and we love it. Meanwhile, Tony Finau demonstrates that his priorities in life are family. Bringing his family on the road with him, Tony's values of family keep his game sane on the course. With lots of doubts about him being so family-oriented holding him back amongst the media, Tony eventually went on to get back-to-back wins in 2022, bursting that bubble. At home, he's a fantastic father figure, and it perhaps keeps him sane when he isn't on the golf course. Simple but productive practice around this seems to also be a working recipe for Finau. There is no right or wrong, but find out what works best for you. Number 6. To be the best is ridiculously hard and stressful. Rory McIlroy is the full eyes in the final episode of Full Swing, and we delve into the day-to-day hustle and bustle between events for Rory probably more than any other player on the show. If McIlroy isn't in a press conference, he's in the gym. If he isn't in the gym, he's practicing. And if he isn't practicing, he's playing inside the ropes. And if he isn't doing that, he's giving back to the game as best he can through other charitable causes. With the LIV versus PGA controversy, Rory very much became the anchorman for the PGA Tour, the voice against the LIV Tour, and supporter of all that is the legacy of the game found on the PGA and DP World Tours. With plenty of tough questions being thrown at him, Rory was arranging player meetings with Tiger in an effort to protect what he thinks is right. The lack of downtime will have been hard on Rory, and as he speaks up, the pressure continued to mount on him to deliver in competition. Despite playing excellent golf, he could not hole enough putts in the final day at the Open Championship to beat Cameron Smith, even though Rory was by far the better player the whole week. But to go on and win the FedEx Cup at the Tour Championship, Rory proved in style why he's the world's best. If you think your local scratch golfer at your club is good, these guys are on another level. Were there any other lessons that you guys have learned from the series? Let us know in the comments.